valuable lesson. But hey, we're not done yet, because I'm still going to give you the third question, okay? Write this down. The third question you need to ask yourself is, what kind of reward do you want to receive? What kind of reward do I want to receive? Okay, let me give you a quick analogy. I want you to imagine this with me for a moment. Just try to imagine, okay, that you've got a lot of unpaid bills right now. You've got a lot of debt that's stacked up. You owe a lot of people some money. In fact, I'm imagining that a lot of people don't even have to try very hard to imagine this, because this is the reality today. Right? And so anyway, one day you decide that out of a whim, you are going to buy a lottery ticket. So you go ahead and purchase that lottery ticket, and then the following week, you find out that by some miracle, you actually won the lottery. The cash prize, 100 million pesos. Woo! Is that money going to make you happy? Type in yes or no. Come on, yes or no. 100 million pesos, will that make you happy? You better be crazy not to say yes to that. Right? Because that's a lot of money that will be used to pay off your bill and then some more that you can use to bless other people. So yes, you will be happy with that money. And so anyway, the next day, you go to the lottery office, and then you're bringing the winning lottery ticket, and you present it, and people are like, congratulations, sir, you won 100 million pesos. And then the big boss comes up from behind you, taps you on the shoulder, and says, you know what, sir? Because of all the paperwork, because of all the documentation that we still need to file, you actually need to come back after 90 days before you can collect the money. And you're like, what? That's like 3 months from now. I thought I was going to walk out of this place a multi-millionaire. But you know what? You're happy. You won 1 million pesos, okay? You're happy, but you're a little disappointed. And so on your way out, you meet this man sharply dressed, and you tell your problems to this guy, and the guy is like, you know what, brother? I am going to be a brother to you today. I am going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to do you a big favor, all right? In exchange for that winning lottery ticket, here's what I'm going to do for you, okay? Again, this is a favor from me to you. I'm going to give you right now, right this very second. You don't need to wait 90 days. You don't need to wait 3 months. Right this very second, I am going to give you 1 million pesos. And so he opens his briefcase, and lo and behold, 1 million pesos in the briefcase. And he's like, you know what? You can take this home today. You can get a good night's rest tonight, you know, because the creditors are going to stop from calling you, from knocking on your door, from bugging you. You get to go home a millionaire. And all you got to do is simply just sign this piece of paper that says that you are relinquishing this winning lottery ticket to me. So my question for you today is, are you going to do it? Type in your answer again. Yes or no? Are you going to do it? Yes or no? Are you going to exchange the winning lottery ticket, 1 million pesos, for the 1 million pesos that's ready right now that you can take home? Yes or no? It's not a hard question, right? You would be loco. You would be cuckoo if you would say yes to that deal. You would be crazy to exchange 100 million for 1 million, to exchange something of great value for something of lesser value. But you know what, my dear friends? We say yes to that deal every single day. How? Whenever we exchange God's eternal rewards for man's earthly reward. That's right. Whenever we go for the likes and the applause of man, and we exchange God's love in our life, that's what happens. We exchange something of real value for something of fake value. Let me tell you this story, okay? I was trying to look for a story that would fit this message, and I didn't even have to look very hard, very far, because God pointed out something that happened in my life. And no, it did not happen many years ago. In fact, it happened just a few months ago. Okay, very recent. Some of you know this already, that I started a personal vlog, and I called it Audibles, right? Some of you might have even watched a few episodes here and there. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel, by the way. But anyway, the main intention of my vlog was very simple. I wanted to use this vlog as a platform to bless the people, to inspire people, to read the Bible, to read the gospel, to reflect also. I was sharing my personal reflections, and so to speak, in short, I was sharing, personal messages that I would not be able to share, in our regular feast. That was the intention. And so it started off very well. But you know what? Some of you might have noticed this, that I stopped filming for many months now. I stopped putting out material. I stopped posting. And I've never shared this before. And I'm only sharing this with you now because I believe that this is a safe space, okay? The vlog started out very well. It got very good feedback from people. In fact, I want to thank you for encouraging me, for affirming me. But you see, again, this is my personal journey. That I noticed that little by little, something in me was changing. My heart was changing. My intentions and my motivation was changing, because it became more and more about garnering likes, and it became less and less about sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ. All of a sudden, I noticed that every single day, whenever I would post, I would check 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. I would check how many views that post got, how many people commented, the kinds of comment that came into that post, and then I would reply to each comment. I would like their comment. And so it became more about people liking, people viewing, people following me. And it became less and less about really inspiring people and sharing God's love to them. So my heart changed, and so that's when I knew that I needed to stop. So since then, I stopped. I stopped putting out material, and ever since then, I started praying to the Lord. Lord, refine my heart. Lord, purify my intentions. Lord, simply just put me back to the same place, that same heart that I had when I started out. Let me share with you one of the prayers that has helped me in this journey. It comes from the book of Psalm, and it says, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. Point out anything in me that offends you, and lead me along the path of everlasting life." That's a beautiful prayer to have, to simply come before God and ask God, Lord, help me search within me and look for anything that might be offensive to you. And if there's anything that's offensive to you, Lord, I ask you to uproot it, to refine it, to change it. Put me back into that same place, that same heart. When I first started doing this, my intention was clean, Lord. Because you know what? Sometimes we may start off with a good intention, but along the way we get lost. And if you look deep within, you might not like what you see. You might realize that it's no longer for God's glory, but it's for your own personal glory. You need to always ask yourself this question: is my intention to bless, or is my intention to brag? Is my intention to bless, or is my intention to boast? Because you see, there's a huge difference between blessing and bragging, blessing and boasting. And one way that you can determine whether your intention is to bless or brag is simply, again, to ask this simple question: am I seeking praise, or am I sending praise? You see, it's all about the direction of where the praise goes to. If the praise goes to you, well, simple, you're seeking praise. It's for your own glory. But when you are sending praise, you're giving it to the Lord, you are blessing, because your intentions are to bless people. Your intention is to praise God. That's the huge difference. That's why it's very important that your heart always needs to be in the right place. And long term, you got to look at this long term, because again, over time, your intentions change. You got to look deep within you and ask yourself, am I doing this to bless people, or am I doing it because I want to brag to people? Because I really believe this, my dear friends, that there is a bragger that's living inside of you and me. I remember the story of Junjun, who Junjun one day comes home from school and then brags to his mom, and he's like, "Mom, I am the smartest and wisest kid in the class, because I am the only student who was able to answer the question of the teacher. None of my classmates were able to answer the question." And the mom is like, "Oh my gosh, my son is so smart. By the way, son, what was the answer to the question?" And Junjun is like, "Mom, the answer was so simple. I only needed to raise my hand and say me. Me. That's it." And the mom's like, "The answer was me? Junjun, what was the question in the first place?" And Junjun is like, "Oh, Mom, the question was so simple. The teacher calls the class and she says, 'Class, who among you did not do the assignment for today?' And I'm like, 'Me!'" I believe this, my dear friends, that there is a bragger that's living inside you and me. That's right. Whether you admit it or not, that's the person who wants the applause. He's the person living inside of you who wants the adulation. She's the person living inside of you who wants the attention. There's a bragger inside you and me. And if we are able to overcome the bragger that's living inside of us, we simply need to know what the bragger wants. And one of the greatest things that I believe that the bragger always wants is the reward. The reward. The bragger wants the adulation. The bragger wants the attention. The bragger wants the applause. In other words, the bragger wants the reward. But what the bragger doesn't know, and what you and I both know now, is that there are two kinds of rewards. There's the earthly reward, but there is also the eternal reward. And I don't know about you, but I want the eternal reward. I want the kind of reward that cannot be consumed by moths. The one that cannot be destroyed by fire. The kind of reward that is more precious than 1,000 likes. It's more valuable than 1,000,000 heart emoticons. I want the love of God. I want the eternal reward of God. How many of you want God's eternal reward? Type in, just like what Junjun said, type in me. Come on. You want God's eternal reward? You want God's heavenly reward? So simply do this. Never exchange God's heavenly reward for man's earthly reward. Don't ever do it. Don't ever exchange, God's real love for man's temporary love. Because it's limited. God's love for you is limitless. So stop working for the applause of humans and instead work for the applause of heaven. Work for the praises of God. That's right. Let me close with this last verse, okay? This is coming from 2 Corinthians chapter 11. It's beautiful, okay? 11 verse 30. Paul says this. Paul says, if I must boast, I would rather boast about the things that show how weak I am. And then he follows this up in chapter 12 verse 9. He says, each time Jesus says, my grace is all you need. My power works best in weakness. And so Paul says this, so now I am glad to boast about my weaknesses so that the power of Christ can work through me. You see, my dear friends, that is the ultimate reward. The ultimate reward is that Christ's power may rest in you and me. That Jesus Christ himself would rest in you. That Jesus himself would live in you. That's the greatest reward. The reward is Jesus himself. God is the greatest reward. Can you tell that to yourself right now? Say that with me. God is my greatest reward. Amen. I hope that this message blessed you today, everybody. If I can just invite you, we're going to respond to this message in a few moments. But let's just pray. Let's just come into God's presence right now in the name of the Father and of the